Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I'll say thank you guys so much for being here. It is wonderful to see you. Good morning, Kelly and Janet. Good morning, Dan and John Al and Shauna. It is great to see you guys here today. Thank you for joining me as we come together to say some good stuff about us. As we come together to really affirm the things that are right about ourselves. We're going to do what we do every morning. I'm going to pull a card off the top of the deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we're going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. After we do that, we're going to write it down in the comments, affirm it for each other, and really explore how this concept fits into our lives. So I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. It is always a pleasure to see how many folks show up. All right, so yeah, let's pull that card off the top of the deck and say that today I am expansive. I am expansive. I grow into new versions of myself daily. So I am expansive. I grow into new versions of myself daily. Are you expansive? You are expansive. You grow into new versions of yourself daily. So I'm going to write this down in the comments that I am expansive. That I grow into new versions of myself daily. And as I write down in down in the comments, I am bringing it even more so into my life. You're funny, Dan. He says I'm expansive. Need to reduce. Yeah, sometimes I expand some ways in wintertime. I de-expand in the summertime, I've found, but definitely sometimes in the winter, I can definitely be quite expansive. But I am expansive. I grow into new versions of myself daily. And in order to grow into a new version of myself, I must first be dedicated to doing that. I must first know where I'm going. I must first have some desire to grow. I'm sure that you guys have met plenty of people who, like us, are on a growth trajectory. People who are always learning something new, doing something new, facilitating something else that they've never done before. And as we grow into new versions of ourselves, the opportunities that are available to us increases. The opportunities that are available to an expanded person increase. I remember I was at a conference once, and this speaker was talking about how we can measure the size of a person by the size of the problem that gets them down, by the size of the problem that knocks them off their high flying disc, off the size of the problem that gets to them. And I remember that really hitting home when I first heard it. That because I was thinking about how typically when I had something that would annoy me, or something that would really take me off of my game, as it were, that oftentimes it was something small and petty. And that person's words were convicting to me, because I recognized, I was like, wait a minute, if I have let these small petty things bother me so much, then how on earth could I be trusted with more important things? How on earth could other people trust my leadership abilities when I let the little stuff get me down? I remembered that, and and so I committed to just becoming a better version of myself that day, and to do that every day, to realize that the stuff that the stuff that got me down yesterday doesn't have to get me down today. I had plenty of adversity in my life yesterday. I had plenty of things that made me unhappy. I had plenty of things that were not as I wanted them to be. And instead of allowing these things to make me unhappy, instead of allowing these things to distract me or make it so that I was focused on them, I just I just I instead of doing that, I took a deep breath, and I was like, okay, well, I figured out everything up until this point, and this adversity is something that I will figure out as well. And so I am expansive. I grow into new versions of myself daily. It's pretty obvious to me whenever I do stuff that is, like fairly ritualistic for me, things that I do on the regular, like, for example, this wake up call. When I when I look at this wake up call from, 6 months ago or a year ago, I realize just how far that I've come. And yet, I didn't come this far all at once. I come this far a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And so it is with us as well. We grow into new versions of ourselves daily, but it is rarely something that is noticeable. It is rarely something that's noticeable over the short period. I tend to notice my own personal growth after looking at it after a year or 6 months. And so we just have to understand that because we're growing into new versions of ourselves, because we are growing and learning and expanding, that the way that we interface with life is going to be different every single day. And because the way that we interface with life is different every single day, it makes a situation where we are never going to have the same day twice. We are going to be consistently having a different kind of an experience, a different quality to our experience. And so we are expansive people. We grow into new versions of ourselves daily. And we're committed to doing that because the alternative is not to grow. I'm sure that you've met plenty of people in your life who are just not or who are just committed to not growing, who believe that life is exactly the same day in and day out, and who believe that that they are not ever going to change either. And of course, we all change, whether we like it or not. It is hard to kick against the goads, and life itself goads us into providing, or into growing and changing and learning and adapting so that we can change and adapt to the world around us. The world around us consistently changes, the world around us consistently expands, and we must therefore expand with it. We must grow into a new version of ourselves. It is incumbent on us to do it. As we do it, and because we do it, the opportunities that we have are different day by day. So today, this card is our permission slip to expand. It's our permission slip to get larger and to increase our perspective. It's our permission slip to try new things, and it's also our permission slip when those new things don't work out the way that we think that they ought to have, or perhaps it takes longer than we thought it ought to grow into a version of ourselves that can handle that problem. Our expansiveness doesn't just affect us, it affects the people around us. Because as we grow into new versions of ourselves, as we deal with the same situations but in different, more mature ways every day, then it gives the people around us some ability to pause and think to themselves, well, maybe I could have some of that for me. When we get new opportunities, when we get different opportunities that are served to us, those different opportunities affect other people as well, and ultimately give us the ability to give our gifts in an even more congruent way. And isn't that what we're all working on doing in this life? Is giving our gifts to the utmost, is serving our fellows to the utmost, and doing it in a way that brings us happiness and joy and fulfillment in life. As we grow into new versions of ourselves, we get to manifest those gifts that we've received, and we get to do that in a way that is congruent with our values. So I am expansive today. You are expansive too, and we grow into new versions of ourselves daily. So let's see what you guys had to say in the comments. It's always really lovely to see who shows up and to read what they have to say about this. Thank you, Tony, for sharing this, and thank you to everybody who shares this. And when I go to check out make sure that the post itself went out on social media okay, which is something I do after I turn off the camera. It's one of my things to do after the wake up call. It's always interesting because I log on to Facebook or and YouTube and whatnot, and the various places this goes out. And then I see my own video has been shared by other people. I think it's just the coolest thing. So thank you. So let's see here. Yes. So Janet says that happiness is a choice that she makes in her own self. It stabilizes her in her personal bubble, and then she can take that bubble anywhere. That is exactly right. When we are confident in ourselves, when we are confident in our ability to handle anything, we can take that mindset anywhere. And when other people observe us having that mindset, then they also are inspired to do the same, to handle life the same way. And so we grow into new versions of ourselves daily, and the new versions of ourselves that we grow into are versions that can more readily interface with the people around us. Let's see. Let's see. So Anita says, I'm growing every day because I made a decision to make a new, improved version of myself. Yes, indeed you did. It has to be a decision. It has to be a choice. And if it isn't, if we're just growing by default, if we're just growing because the world is shaping us, then what are we doing? Why are we allowing ourselves to be shaped by external factors instead of intentionally, creating the life that we desire and dream of? I remember that when I was younger, I was just kind of a go with the flow kind of a person, and I'm still very much a go with the flow kind of a person in a lot of ways. So I ad lib with life. I do I think life is like an improv comedy. You just kind of say yes, and life will throw something weird and ridiculous at me. I'll be like, okay, fine, that's happening now, and also, and it is in that and also that we can that I grow into new versions of myself. Oh, something is happening that I don't actually like or want. Okay, fine. And also, I am now pivoting to deal with that. I'm now pivoting to handle whatever that is. I'm now growing. Yesterday, I had all kinds of stuff happen that I did not like. And I didn't get frustrated or angry with it. I was just like, okay, well, this is happening now. And also, it's figure outable, and I'm going to figure it out. So I am expansive today, and you are as well. Shauna says, so proud of how you've expanded this show, Maui Paul, and loving all these folks who support you. Absolutely, and I do too, Shauna. Thank you so much for saying that, because I also love the way that I've expanded this show, and it's still providing the number one benefit to me, which is helping me to get out of bed, and it's also providing a tremendous benefit to the people around me who watch it. And I know that I know it's true because sometimes folks will come up to me as I'm walking down the street and say, hey, I love the show this morning, and I have never once seen them ever drop a comment. So I know this show is being watched by people that I don't even really know who they are, and I think that's super cool. I think that I think it's amazing to have that kind of reach. I live in a world where it is possible to have that kind of influence on somebody else's life in a positive way and not even know about it. Let's see here. So Kelly says we can learn every day uh, that we can learn that every day can change and be better, and it is indeed our choice. It is indeed, and like I say it all the time. I say that we are wiser than we've ever been. We're smarter than we've ever been. We're more experienced than we've ever been. When I woke up this morning and got out of bed, and I didn't really want to this morning, but I did it anyways. But when I woke up this morning, got out of bed, I was like, this is a new day. This is a day that I have the opportunity to make completely different choices, get completely different results, and make everything in my life just a little bit better. It's going to change anyways, so why not make it intentionally expansive? So yeah, we are and kind of people, as Janet says. And I'm going to finish this one up and get over to the rest of my work day. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here and for just sharing this message with me. I'll return tomorrow with another affirmation. And tomorrow, it is a new day. Tomorrow is Friday, and we will be going over all of the cards for the week. So join me tomorrow at 9 a.m. right here, and I will be going over the messages from the cards for the week, just seeing where we started and where we've ended up and what it took us to get there. Until then, my beautiful friends, just know that you are growing into a new version of yourself today. And whether it's an intentional version of yourself or whether it's one that is shaped by what's happening around you is your choice. And so be sure to expand in ways that are are beneficial for you and for those people who are around you. And as you do that, just remember that I love you and that I care about you, that I'm pulling for you, that I believe in you, and that as you go through your day today, that you have the ability to manifest tremendous positive change, not just in your life, but in the lives of the people around you. And simply by expanding, by growing into a new version of yourself today. My beautiful friends, I will talk to you tomorrow and at 9 a.m. Until then, aloha from paradise.